Hi, I'm Haley with Neuhaus Education Center. In this video, we are going to discuss analyzing a word list in scientific spelling. When students analyze a word list or a spelling list in scientific spelling, they're deciding if each of the words on that list is a regular word for spelling, an irregular word for spelling, or a rule word for spelling. Analyzing words helps heighten awareness of sounds in words, forces students to look at the orthographic patterns of words, which then helps to build those patterns in memory, and it makes students think and become more reflective about their spelling. If you look in your scientific spelling manual on page 1 of the purple procedures section, down here at the bottom, you'll find the steps for analyzing a word list. Then on page 14 of that same purple section, you'll find an analyzing word list worksheet here that students can use when they're going through a spelling list, deciding if the word is a regular word, a rule word, or an irregular word. I'm going to go through the steps of the process with you, and then I'll model a few words to show you how it would look when you're doing it with your students. The first step to analyzing a word is looking at the word and reading the word. Then you're going to unblend that word into individual sounds. If it's a multisyllabic word, first segment into individual syllables and then unblend each of those syllables. Next, you're going to think about the first sound in the word and the first orthographic pattern that represents that sound. You're going to decide if that's a best bet spelling. Is it appropriate or not? If it's an appropriate best bet spelling, then it's regular. If it's not an appropriate best bet spelling, then it's irregular. You can always refer back to your scientific spelling manual, or students will refer to their scientific spelling notebook to check and for reference. You're going to do this with each of the sounds and orthographic patterns in the word. At the end, you're going to decide if it's a regular word, a rule word, or an irregular word. If it's a regular word, that means that every sound to orthographic pattern representation is appropriate and the best bet spelling. If it's an irregular word, that means that one or more of the sound orthographic pattern correspondences is not the best bet or the regular pattern for spelling. If it's a rule word, it means that it uses one of the 5 rules of English to double, drop, or change a letter. So let me show you what I mean by going through a list of words. Here I have a list of words. And what we're going to do is look at the first words, and then we're going to decide if it's regular, rule, or irregular for spelling. We're going to use our scientific study spelling manual to check our answers as we go. So the first word I have is swimming. It's 2 syllables, so first let's segment into syllables. Swim-ing. Let's think about that first syllable. Swim. Let's do the sounds in swim. S, u, I, m. I have 4 sounds. So the first one is s. It's represented by an S. Do we think that's an appropriate representation for S? Definitely. What about the W? Is that an appropriate representation for W? Yes. What about I for I? Is that an appropriate representation? Yes. Then I have MM for M. Is that an appropriate representation? I'm not really sure. Let me look first in my regular section. I'm going to look in the regular section, and I'm going to find the M sound, which is here on 28. Well, here it says this sound in initial, medial, or final position is spelled M, as in mitten. But in my word, I have it spelled with MM. Where else could I check? Well, I could check in my rule section because it's doubling a letter. So let me see. I'm looking at the doubling rule. There are 4 checkpoints. Is there one vowel in the word swim? Yes. Is there one final consonant? Yes. Is there one accent? Yes. Is it a vowel suffix? Yes, ing. Oh, good. That means that we've applied the doubling rule. So when I'm looking here at this word swimming, that makes me believe that swimming is a rule word. It follows the doubling rule. So when I pull out my worksheet here, I'm going to write swimming in the rule word section, just like so. Now let's move on to the next word. The next word is lobster. I have read the word. Now we're going to think about the different syllables in the word. Lobster. Let's look at syllable 1 first. Lob. Let's unblend it. B. Do all of these seem appropriate? Does the L seem appropriate for oo? Sure does. What about ah and o? Sounds appropriate. What about b and b? Yes, definitely. Let's look at syllable 2. Stir. S. S, is that appropriate for S? Yes. T, is that appropriate for T? Yes. ER, is that appropriate for Yes, it is. So lobster is a regular word. I'm going to write lobster in the regular word column. Our next word is ocean. I hear 2 syllables, so let's segment into syllables. Ocean, ocean. Okay, ocean, O. Is that an appropriate sound or spelling for the sound O? O? Yes, it is. What about C or CE for the sh sound? I don't think that's a regular best bet spelling for the sh sound. Let me check in my regular word section. I'm going to turn to the sh page. So I'm flipping through. The sh page is on 43, and it says the sh sound in initial, medial, or final position of a base word is spelled sh as in ship. So that leads me to believe that ocean, because it's using a C or a CE for that sh sound, is not a best bet spelling. So it's not a regular word, it's an irregular word. So I'm going to write ocean in my irregular column. Let's do a few more. Let's skip down to this word sail. Sail, let's unblend. Sail, S-A-L. I'm hearing 3 sounds. Okay, the first sound s is S, an appropriate representation of s. Yeah, that seems appropriate to me. What about AI for A? Does that seem appropriate? Well, I have seen AI spell A before, but I'm not sure if that's the best bet spelling or the most predictable spelling pattern, so I'm going to check in my manual. AI for the A sound. So I know A is going to be at the beginning of my section. So here I am on page 2, and it's the long A. Let's see if we can find AI as the best bet spelling for that A sound. Let's see. The A sound in initial or medial position of a 1-syllable base word is spelled A consonant E as in cake. I have A is in a sailboat as in sail. A is in the medial position of my word. So that would apply. It is a 1-syllable base word, but this is saying the best bet spelling is A consonant E. And here I have the spelling as AI. So that tells me that sail is not a regular word for spelling, it's an irregular word. So I'm going to write sail under irregular. And that's how you would lead your students through analyzing a word list. You're thinking about if each sound spelling correspondence is an appropriate or best bet or most predictable spelling, or does it follow one of the 5 spelling rules in English, or does it not follow any of these and it's irregular. You can find more information about analyzing a word list in your scientific spelling training materials or in your scientific spelling manual.